Everybody, my name is SPAZ, and I'm a CD junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be talking about a British band by the name of Bucks Fizz. Now, Bucks Fizz came on the scene in 1981. The four members were brought together by producer-writers Nicola Martin and Andy Hill to perform a song called Making Your Mind Up for the Eurovision Song Contest in 1981. The song won, and Bucks Fizz became a huge sensation all across the UK, all across Europe, possibly all across the world, except for, of course, the United States of America. We weren't involved in the Eurovision Song Contest, and very few of their records were released in the US. So I'm going to go through their CD catalog, but just let me tell you a couple things here. Number one, I got into the band in 1982 because of their first US album, which was kind of a compilation of the first two UK albums. And of course, I've been a fan ever since. When they first came together, the quartet consisted of Bobby G, Mike Nolan, Cheryl Baker, and Jay Aston. No, that's Jay Aston from Gene Loves Jezebel. I'm talking about Jay Aston from Bucks Fizz. Okay, there you go. In a world so dark and twisted, we needed something wonderful pop, something to fill us with hope and happiness, and Bucks Fizz was just what the doctor ordered. They scored plenty of hits while pissing music critics off at the same time. I love pop music. I think there's always room for pop music, and Bucks Fizz, they were kind of like ABBA, who were just breaking up the year that Bucks Fizz formed, but they didn't write their songs. Generally, most of their stuff was filtered through producer-writer Andy Hill, who I suppose was sort of a Svengali figure in their career. They have admitted that they were puppets during this first part of their career, but the vocal blend, their personalities, they really brought life and charm to the charts. So let's start with their first album. It came out in 1981. It is self-titled Bucks Fizz, and this, of course, has Making Your Mind Up, that Eurovision Song Contest winner. This is the deluxe 2-CD version that has loads of bonus tracks plus a Spanish version of their album. Other hits are Piece of the Action, One of Those Nights, fine album, 1981, Bucks Fizz. 1982 brought us Are You Ready? This is the 2-CD deluxe edition. And this, of course, has more great hits like My Camera Never Lies and Now Those Days Are Gone, which is just beautiful. If Karen Carpenter had never succumbed to anorexia, I can guarantee you that she probably would have done a version of Now Those Days Are Gone, because it's just as beautiful as all those classic Carpenter songs. Anyway, this has bonus tracks galore. Perhaps one of their biggest hits ever is Land of Make Believe, and that is 1982. Are you ready? 1983, Hand Cut. Lots more pop deliciousness on this album. This is the deluxe edition. Run for Your Life is on this album. If You Can't Stand the Heat, Running Out of Time, Shot Me Through the Heart, great stuff. And bonus tracks. Great collection there. 1984 gave us I Hear Talk, another fine collection of pop classics by Bucks Fizz. The title track is there, of course, Golden Days. She Cries, which is a cover of a Nick Kershaw song, is on this. Talking in Your Sleep, a cover of the Romantics song, is on this. Not a big fan of that, to be perfectly honest. I love the Romantic song, so that's probably why. But anyway, this also has Tears on the Ballroom Floor, which is one of my favorite Bucks Fizz songs. And there's that. Well, after this, Jay Aston left the band, and they brought in Shelley Preston, and in 1986 released the album Writing on the Wall. This is the rejigged version, the updated version, because the original 1986 version of the album had a couple songs that were licensed from RCA, and they didn't want to do that with this set, so they removed those songs, mixed things around, added different edits and mixes, and they created this version of Writing on the Wall. The album originally came out in 1986. I'm eventually going to get that original German CD because I want to hear the album. I want to own the album as it was originally released. But on top of this, I also have the 2-CD version. This is the ultimate version. Loads and loads of bonus tracks on that. And that was it for Bucks Fizz for a while. Band members just dropped off and they sort of fizzled out. Now, certain things had happened over their career that I've left out. There was a terrible bus crash, and then now after this album, they went through legal issues. I'm trying to sort of focus just on the music, just on the stuff that brings us joy. You can search the internet and find out all the behind-the-scenes details. But just about 10 years ago, Cheryl Cheryl Baker, Mike Nolan, and Shelley Preston got back together, and they were going to perform the music of Bucks Fizz. But by this time, Bobby G and his wife owned the name Bucks Fizz, so they couldn't operate under the name Bucks Fizz. So they tried a couple different things. Shelley Preston eventually left when Jay Aston came on board, and in 2012 they released an album under the name Original Bucks Fizz. The album is called Fame and Fortune, and what this Original Bucks Fizz is, they actually went into the studio and they reimagined some old Bucks Fizz songs in sort of jazzy acoustic arrangements, and there's some new originals on here, including Ain't It a Shame, the Ballad of Bucks Fizz. And it's a nice, wonderful album, a great way to listen to 3 of the 4 original members, enjoying the songs, trying something new, injecting something different, and having a lot of fun with it. So Original Bucks Fizz, Fame and Fortune. After some more legal issues, they finally settled on a new band name, and they brought in a new band member, Bobby McVeigh, and they released an album under the name The Fizz. The album is called The F to Z of Pop. This came out in 2017, and first half of the album is all new material produced by Mike Stock from Stock Aitken Waterman fame, and it's just glorious, updated Bucks Fizz. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It's a modern sounding Bucks Fizz. Those voices together sound great. The songs are fantastic. And then the second part of the album is re-recordings and a couple remixes of the re-recordings of some of their older biggest hits. And it's a really fun, nice, wonderful album, a great return to form. And if you've been telling yourself, I'll get it eventually, get it now, because it's a really fun album. Now, shortly after the album's release, Bobby McVeigh left, so they're back down to a trio of Jay, Mike, and Cheryl, and they released Christmas with the Fizz. And yes, this is fine, wonderful, fantastic. It's not just all Christmas songs. It's songs that are associated with Christmas in the UK, like Freiheit's Keeping the Dream Alive. For some reason, it's associated with Christmas, so they do it here. They do Mull of Kintyre by Paul McCartney and Wings. In fact, they also do Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. There's a couple originals on here. They do a song called Home for My Heart, and it features Rick Wakeman on it. And classic, like Winter Wonderland, Let It Snow, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. But a majority of the album isn't traditional Christmas. It does have that Christmas spirit, which is really fantastic. And then they just dropped news that Jay, Mike, and Cheryl are releasing a brand spanking new album in 2020 called Smoke and Mirrors. And that's essentially why I'm putting this video together, to have people delve into their back catalog, either for the first time or again, and prepare themselves for the new album. Compilation-wise, there's tons of Bucks Fizz compilations out there. Here's the ones that I recommend. Lost Masters, which is 2 CDs of different mixes, alternate versions, all that fun stuff, new mixes. Lost Masters Volume 2, which is more of the same. And I believe on both of these, they also have some solo tracks, by Cheryl Baker and Bobby G. Here is the very best of Bucks Fizz. This is a great compilation, and it has a DVD that features videos. And then finally, remixes and rarities that came out a few years back. Anyway, that's it for my overview of Bucks Fizz. I hope this inspires you to at least check them out. Listen to what they sound like. Listen to the hits. Listen to the albums. I'm sure that you're going to find some great little gems that you can snuggle with at night. I appreciate you sitting and hanging out with me and talking about Bucks Fizz. Until the next time, my name is SPAZ, and I'm a CD junkie.